Good morning, and welcome to the Darth Grumpy Dad Games Twitch stream channel. All right, this morning we are going to go over the Pestilent Master Shroud, which is the Hedry's gift for this season for the Necro, and it's not a bad build. It's ranked in the A class, I believe, or B classes. It's ranked B class on like max roll and stuff. So it's not intended to be a 150 pusher, but it's people have still done it. If you go to leaderboards and look at Greater Rifts, Top Global, they've run a 150 with it. My guess is these guys have lots and lots of Paragon, right? So they got 125 augments on stuff on a number of pieces, right? And they probably just have a ton of Paragon. So to be able to do this. And they've done a good job of getting their crit down, the right rolls on everything, their cooldown reduction, their attack speed, and their crit dam on all the pieces they need it on, right? So that's a big bonus. So they've got corpse size damage. See, they got their damage buckets. They've at least got something in each of the damage buckets. They should accept that armor. That should be crit chance, I think. But poison skill, and which is odd because Land of the Dead, Frozen Lands. That's your main attack, and it's a cold skill, right? So the gem you want in there, you're actually going to want to have cold skill damage on it, right? And you don't actually need to roll poison damage on your weapons for this because the Necro does poison damage, right? The Necro just does poison damage. So you don't have to waste a slot rolling poison damage on a weapon because a lot of the other skills you use do poison damage. Here. Right here. And also your other main, Brittle Touch, on your Corpse Lance creates cold damage. It's a cold damage. So you want cold damage on your gear. Now poison, which I know sounds odd, but you want cold damage, right? And then now my skills are a little bit different. We'll go look at the leaderboard skills again, and this is more for ease of running the build, right? Right. So the leaderboard skills are, and these are the same. If you go look on max roll, they're pretty much all the same skills, and right? So Skeleton Commander, Dark Mending, Land of the Dead, Frozen Lands, Corpse Lance. That's Ricochet. They're using Ricochet. You should be using Brittle Touch, cold damage, right? And I'm sure they changed that for poison damage or whatever. Okay, Blood Rush Molting, right? Which is what it's called for on the websites. Simulacrum Reservoir proper, and Devour Voracious. And then the cube, Relay Shadowhook, Corpse Twister Pauldrons, Convention of Elements, Passive Standalone, Final Service, Blood is Power, and Overwhelming Essence. That's, yep, boom, boom, boom. And this guy's got a good build. It's a good build. Now, the way I'm running it, because I'm strange, is a little bit different. Okay. So I'm still running a lot of the same gear for the most part, right? Our weapons, the Jethus Shield and Jethus Scythe, Pestilence Gloves, Pestilence Shoulders, the robe, the mask, and the pants, right? which I don't think I haven't rolled anything on. I probably need to roll. Yeah, I should have rolled Nova damage on it, but I haven't really rolled that much on it. And then the Captain Silk Girdle and Captain's Crimson Waiters for the cooldown reduction and the rollover of your cooldown and resource reduction to damage and damage reduction. That's a handy set. You use it on a lot, right? In the cube, same. Relating to Shadowhook, Corpse Whisperer's Pauldrons, Ring of Royal Grandeur, except, I went with Consuming a Corpse has a chance to consume a life, right? Life from death. I went with Grisly Tribune. I went with Overwhelming Essence, right? Because I'll get into why. And then Final Service, which is a cheat death. Now, on this build, in our cube, we have Rieleni's Shadowhook. Every point of maximum, so this is one of our damage buckets. Every point of maximum essence increases your damage by 0.5%, and bone spikes generate additional essence from each hit. 5, right? That last part doesn't matter. That's the first part of that, where our essence is converted into damage, right? And then, of course, Corpse Lance damage, 75% for 3 seconds, stacks 20 times. So, yeah, lots of damage. It only lasts 3 seconds still, but the 75% stacks. Our Ring of Grandeur, that allows us to wear 5 pieces, get our 6-piece bonus. Okay, the skills. Command Skeletons, Dark Mending, so when you command them to attack something and they're attacking it, you get life. It brings you life. And again, these are, I selected these just to stay alive a little better, because I don't have tons and tons and tons of Paragon, right? Corpse Lance, Brittle Touch, right? Target an enemy to summon projectiles from nearby corpses that cause 1,750% weapon damage as physical to the target. So you think, oh, it's a physical damage build. Nope, because we took Brittle Touch. Enemies become brittle, increasing their chance to be crit by 5% for 5 seconds each time they are hit with Corpse Lance, right? So every time you smack them with Corpse Lance, they gain 5% for 5 seconds. Boom, boom, and it stacks. Okay, Corpse Lance's damage is turned into cold, so it's, again, a cold build. Now we're generating our poison here. This is, I've done this for defense, like this should be Blood Rush, right? Molt. Because the idea is that you Blood Rush in, and when you do, you drop a corpse that you can use to fire your first few Corpse Lances to get it going, right? I run it a little different. Okay, but and Dislocation stuns everybody, and it does poison damage, so there's our poison creator. All right. Devouring Aura, right? Instead of Voration, right? So we automatically devour our corpses and turn them into essence for that maximum essence to keep our essence really high, right? And it's increased by 50% of our guild pickup. So it's pretty good sized. It's almost the whole screen, right? And then Simulacrum Reservoir, right? Your maximum essence is increased by 100% while your Simulacrum is active, right? So that's, again, that's 50% increased damage, right? Every time your Simulacrum, your body double, is active. Okay, Land of the Dead, Frozen Lands. Enemies in Land of the Dead are periodically frozen, right? All corpse skills are free to use for the 10 seconds it's up. Cooldown is 120 seconds. Kind of a long cooldown, but we make it work. Right, and back to inventory. Now, this is where I start to veer off, not just on those couple of skills. Okay, now, Crisp and Sentence, definitely. And I believe you want your crits and attack speed on that. Yeah, you want attack speed, crit damage, and reduce all skills. Cooldown. Right? So I don't have cooldown. I've got the Oh, I do have cooldown. So I got cooldown and attack speed on this. I don't have the crit dam. But Crispin sentence. Did I have to roll it for? Yeah, I had to roll it for a socket, which sucks because that gives you a lot of stuff to choose from to get a good one. Makes it a little tough. And then instead of this should be Convention of Elements, which is definitely a good thing to use on the Necro because the Necro only has 3 cycles: physical, cold, and poison damage. So your 200% increased skill damage for poison damage or cold damage, whichever, right? So you get 2 cycles on there that you could use. But since most of your skill damage you're going to put in the cold every 4 seconds out of 12 seconds, right? 4 out of 12 seconds, you're going to have 200% increased damage, which is pretty good. So 8 seconds of downtime, 4 seconds of uptime is what that rolls into, and then that's pretty good. That's not bad. And of course our Jethus, which should have cooldown on it, and crit, and then possibly attack speed. I don't think you can get attack speed on it. Right, chance to block. You would probably want some Nova damage on it also, if possible. Nope. Intelligence. You want intelligence. You want crit hit chance. Damage against elites. That's what you want your X1 to be instead of block chance. And then reduce damage from elites, if possible. And then reduce cooldowns of all skills. And they've got that on the bottom list. And I think that should be much higher on the list. Your cooldowns become damage, and you need them cooldowns for that long cooldown on your Land of the Dead. Now, the set calls for strong arm braces, right? And I am using Ancient Parthian Defenders. Each enemy, and it maxes out at 12 seconds, but each stunned enemy within 25 yards reduces your damage taken by 11 seconds. It maxes out at 12, right? And I've rolled it for cold damage, and I got some crit chance on it to stay alive. And on top of that, since I'm using bone armor, dislocation, I stun a lot of guys around me all the time, right? So I'm getting that 12% increased damage reduction all the time. 12 for each enemy around me. So if it's a group of guys, right, 10 guys around me, and I hit them with that, that's 100% damage reduction, right? So it's a big deal. It's really helps your survivability. Oh, and the last major change I make for myself to run the build, this is supposed to be Squirt Necklace for the 100% increased damage, right? I'm going with Haunted Visions, right? So this allows our simulacrum to last permanently, to stay alive, well, until you die. Then and hopefully the cooldown on that has wound down, right? And it costs you 1% life, a second to keep him alive. But simulacrum now drains 1% of your maximum life every second and lasts forever. They can now duplicate Grim Scythe and no longer cast Skeletal Mage. Right. So. And on that, let me check. Yep. And I've chosen the reservoir on it. So I have that increased 50% increased damage all the time. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about casting it. I don't worry about it going down. Right. And really, although the 100% increased damage on squirts is nice, until you get a lot of intelligence onto your build items, augmented onto your items, and a lot of intelligence in your Paragon, the backside of Squirt's Necklace, the 50% increased damage, sucks. Like, it sucks. It will get you killed, right? So early on in your build, I suggest using Haunted Visions instead. Now, Haunted Visions comes with a socket every time. So you can You can re-roll these numerous times. You can reforge them till you get one that you can get your crit damage, cold damage, and cooldown, right? Because it already comes with a socket. So you just need one that comes with crit and cooldown, or crit and cold, or anything like that. So you can roll that third one for whatever you need out of those three, right? You can even roll, if you've got an ancient one, you can roll off your intelligence, right? For your whatever necessary you need, because you're going to reapply your intelligence with an augment later anyways. So this, it's kind of easier to get your 3 stats you need on this. Got my crit, got, haven't rolled that for anything. Like, I haven't really rolled, I rolled area damage on this because that piece does, the number 1 stat you want on this is area damage, right? And then your cooldown reductions, and then corpse lance damage, right? You got corpse explosion, so not, all in all, not too bad, right? Your gloves, they want intelligence, because this is one of the pieces you can get 1,000 intelligence on it, right? So you want the intelligence. And then you want crit, and then cooldown. And I've got both crits and then cooldown, and I've foregone the arcane resistance, which would be the other skill you want on it, right? So, yeah, I kind of like this roll a little bit better. Oh, attack speed. It's supposed to have attack speed, not... Yeah. Attack speed, crit, cooldown. Couldn't quite get the attack speed, but cooldown is a bonus. Your Jeth's Scythe, right? Poison damage would be, preferable. And unlike the gentleman on the leaderboard ran with the pain gem, Essence of Anguish is what you want to go for. You want cold skill damage on it. They prefer your secondary skill on this not to be this one. They prefer it to be when you deal poison damage to an enemy, they receive 50% increased poison damage from all sources, right? So that's kind of what you want to go for. I got one with poison damage that when you kill an enemy, you deal the damage done by the death blow to all enemies within 25 yards, right? Yeah, I rolled it for cooldown. I've got maximum essence on it. Our attack speed on it. So it's all in all, it's pretty good. Our shield, I got an ancient one. It's pretty nice. I got a crit. I got it. All right. So now, the way this plays. I'm gonna jump in here in one of these first. Whoop! Make sure I got the proper gems. Zay Stone of Vengeance. You want Goguk of Swiftness, right? Because this gives you dodge and 15% cooldown reduction, right? And then you want almost every single build Bane of the Trapped, because it creates an aura that gives you increased damage, right? 39% at this point. Oh, Crisp and Sentence too, the effect on that. You deal 92% increased damage to slowed enemies, or triple this bonus against enemies afflicted by any type of control parrying effect, right? So that's your curses and the thing that the curse it applies. Now, I play this like you lock on and you hit A, so your guys start attacking. See, they're attacking. They're locked on. Whoops, took some damage there, right? And then you pop, and then you just from there you run up on your through. Right? I'd let it run out. There we go. Now see, and then because my obsidian Every time I tap the A button, I get a second off the cooldown for my line of death. Now at this point, once it's up, I'm just holding down Corpse Lance. Oops, ran right into that dude blowing up. See what I'm saying about, like, you die easy. Right? And, so now we gotta... Oops, I forgot to get my simulacrum going. Duh. No wonder why. Get your simulacrum going. Right? And then you auto cast part of the skills on your Pestilence, right? The way this works. Each corpse you consume fires a corpse lance at a nearby enemy, right? That's why I have Devour on. So I just automatically devour it. It automatically fires corpse lances, and I get my essence. Like it's pulling, it's triple duty here, right? So it's creating damage. It's auto procking a skill, right? So that's why I'm going with the Devouring Aura. Right. Each enemy you hit with Bone Spear, Corpse Lance, or Corpse Explosion reduces your damage taken by 3% up to a maximum of 75%. Lasts 15 seconds. So also auto firing those helps build up our 75% damage reduction, right? Each corpse you consume grants you an empowered Bone Spear charge that increases the damage of your next Bone Spear by 6,000. That, by the way, goes up to 100. Right? So, it's a lot. Corpse Lance and Corpse Explosion damage is increased by 6,000%. Now, if you watch above our action bar there, you can see it's at 100, like the yellow, the little yellow, I'll show you here. Okay, so on top, that's our simulacrum. We're getting that 100%. Bone Shield, we have 45 seconds of armor. And y'all know how Bone Shield works, right? You get 10 stacks. Each stack is like 3% damage reduction for 30% damage reduction. Blinding Defense, you are shielded for 5%. I think that must be something, one of my skills, or Shrine or something effect. Empowered Corpse Lance, using a corpse increases Corpse Lance damage, 1 second left. Andrea's, so, oh yeah, and the Andrea's Essence, see, also, as you've seen the way I set up my follower, she has poison damage on her stuff, and she has the Essence in her gear, so she auto-procs the Andriel's Essence for us. Gogok of Swiftness, Nephilim's Glory, 12 seconds left on our damage reduction, Empowered Bone Spear, right? So we're getting all these perks for what's going on, and some on the bar that show that, oh, that's from picking up the globes. That little shield is picking up the globes. So now I'm going to spam the A button here. There we go. Whoops, get out of that. Dang it. I always do that. Run up on him too quickly. Now this is... Spam the A button to get our cooldowns. Now we're getting that from our Obsidian Ring. So, because it costs us essence every time we tell Corpse Command to attack corpses, which takes a second off our cooldowns. That's why I have it in there, because we don't quite have... There we go. Oh my gosh, there's just not enough monsters in this. Well, I'll have to run another one of these to show you that it does work pretty well. When you have plenty of monsters. There's just low monster density in here, and it's not working out for us very well. Just a bad rift to... There we go. Pick it up, little friend. Pick it up. Oop, I gotta pick up the diamond. Dead end. See, now we can even fall back when monsters come to these. Right? Ah! Okay, I'm gonna move on. And then hit our land of the dead. Just where's the way out of this? Stupid. This rift sucks for this build. Oh my gosh. Almost want to like just... See, once it gets going, it spanks. It's pretty good. It'll easily do T16. You just gotta... Oh, and right now, yeah, on my follower right now, I gave up. If you're wondering why there's so much death breath on the ground. I gave up my cane set to put on sages, and I gave up my gloves of worship for the 10-minute shrine time to get the extra double the amount of death breath. Because I was super low on death breath, but now not so much. Because between the death breath, getting double death breath from the altar, and now also getting double death breath from our follower, you can stack it up pretty quickly. And see, now basically all I have to do once this build gets going is run around tapping the A button and stunning guys. Ooh, there's a corpse over there. Right, and you want to tap that A as soon as monsters show up. Well, I tap the A and the X because I have... There we go. As soon as we get like our... Because every time a new monster shows up, you want to hit the A so that they... Because to get your bonus on the Jethus and Skull Scythe, right, when the target of your command skeletons dies, your skeletons are automatically commanded to attack a nearby enemy. So hopefully there's enough monsters on the screen to keep that going. And while your skeletons are commanded to attack a target, you deal 400% increased damage. Right, so as long as you're commanding them to attack somebody, you have 400% increased damage. Which you don't really get to use this on a whole lot of builds. And I think it's just, it just looks cool, right? There we go. And head back to town. Clear out while this closes. So even with everything that I've pumped into damage reduction and life for this build to keep you going early on, it's still kind of squishy. It does take a little bit to get... Make sure oops. But once it's going, it goes pretty good. It does its job. Convention of elements. Yeah, that's I got better ones. All right, and we'll wait to gamble. Now, wait for this to close, We're repaired. We're good to go. Let's see. I think I've run 100 with this. I'll double check. Whoops. There we go. Well, come check here. Yeah, I've ran 100 with it in like 5 minutes. Right? So it actually performed much better in a rift where you need to hit stuff more often, right? And you have plenty of monsters coming. So we will go back down to that 100. Now, you get in, first thing you want to do, hit the B button, give it a second, hit it again, make sure your simulacrum is active, run up, get your bone armor going, get your Land of the Dead going, and start moving. And be tapping that A button and your bone armor all the time, because you want to do your best to keep them skeletons. And you can tell if you look over there at the command skeleton, you can tell when they're commanded because there's a gold ring around the command skeleton, right? And you'll watch. You'll be able to see when it's done. And then we just got to keep moving into the monsters. And let our auto fire. See, we don't even have to hold this down if we can back off and it'll auto fire them. But I tend to hold it down anyways. That way I'm double. Why are we not? There we go. Then. And get them life globes, because those are going to give you health and a shield, right? Because of our altar. And boom, there's Land of the Dead again. And we ran to a dead end. Is there nothing cool down there? See, now our essence is loaded up. Our there we go. There's our first pylon. There goes our Land of the Dead again. Oop, get out of that. See, now you look at the A button, it doesn't have that gold circle. I tap it. There's our gold circle, right? So it just, as long as there's somebody else for them to attack on the screen, when you tap it, it moves on to the next. And you have to be actually locked on. Oh, I guess not. I lied. You don't. But it does help to be locked on. Hold your lock on trigger. 97, we're almost there. I'm going to let off the Land of the Dead. Hopefully we'll get some. Okay. I was hoping I could save that. All right. So we still got some while he's here. And there goes our Land of the Dead again. And we can actually stand off. Let our Zays do some whacking at her. The further you stand from that object, the more damage you do with your Zay stone. Okay. I'm actually going to put this on the esoteric because we need it for another Necro build I'll be showing in the next couple of minutes. So yeah, I want to put a couple of these out today, hopefully about a half hour long each, 15 minutes to a half hour, and then maybe do some regular grinding. Let's go speak to Oric in town and see how we done on this. Oh, I got to get up and move. There we go. 3 minutes and 40 seconds on that 100. So it's not a bad build all in all at all. All right, I have to get up. I got to stand up. I know I don't talk about myself. Try not to too much. But I do have a disability. Like I have degenerative disc disorder. So, like I try not make it obvious a lot when I'm streaming, but every 5 or 10 minutes I have to get up and move around because I start hurting so much, right? It's just one of those things. Disabled, grumpy old bastard. That I am. Alright. Sorry, I had to go do something in the kitchen too. I left the pan on like a big dummy. My cast iron to dry it off. And then once it's warm, you add oil to it, so it makes it non-stick. And the oil, because the metal in the pan expands when it's hot, and then you put your oil in it, and so when it condenses, it traps the oil in the creases of the pan to make it non-stick. That's how cast iron works. Kind of cool, huh? Well, I think so, but I'm a weirdo. So, anyways, there we go. That's how this runs. Okay, and not bad. 3 minutes and 40 seconds in a 100. I guess. I mean, you really kind of need your gems to make it sing. And I don't really have time to do. So here's what I'll do. Well, and you definitely need your Essence of Anguish and your Pestilence. Oh, Shroud of Hatred is the gem you use, right? And it should be the one that gives you increased damage for the number of guys around you because you run right up in the crowd. But I didn't have one of those. I just used the one I had, which brings elites. And anytime you attack an elite, it brings everything within 40 yards to you, which seems to work just as well. So, like, I can see how with enough Paragon, because your Paragon gives you, your intelligence gives you resist all on the build. So the more intelligence you have in the build, the more resist all you have, and then also you have the option to put more into vitality. But let's see. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. Right, and by the time you have this gear, you should at least have, 2 of these. So I don't think I want to take them out to do this, because I'm not sure this would be a T16 build without these right off the rip. Right? And we will we'll just go out here in the Weeping Hollows, because I'm sure I'm on T16. Yeah, we'll just go out here in the Weeping Hollows and give it a little test run. So this is without any of our Paragon. Right, so we're still killing stuff pretty quickly. Yeah, yeah.
That is not possible.
Again, tap the aim. There we go. Go! Oh, I did not notice that. I was watching pretty much a distance away from me. So I guess we'll see how well it does in one of these with no Paragon in.
The shadows. Its members gather to the north. They conduct their rituals under the veil of the shrouded moors, where few will think to look for them. I cannot guess what dark ritual will ensue a dark cult.
That is not possible.
Most these guys are already dead down here.
No.
All right, where's our next?
I'm afraid
He's afraid not.
I cannot do that. I'm afraid not. That is not possible.
It will definitely clear a room. You will make a fine corpse. Oh, there's our... Get him, boys, get him. Not enough essence. There we go. That didn't time out very well. Well, so we know it definitely will take these out. Pop back out there. Need some baddies. Where's some baddies? There we go. Yeah, I know. It took a second to... Yeah, so it's definitely a T16 build. And like I said, once you get more cooldown into the build, where your Land of the Dead is up way more often, then you're going to want to take the Obsidian Ring off for a Convention of Elements. Right? And like I said, a lot of stuff I changed around, then you'll want to go to... And you'll want to go to the more the leaderboard build or max roll or ice evades, whoever you're looking at YouTube for your build. But this is a good starter build for oh, excuse me. This is a good starter build for this to get it going. It'll definitely get all your gems leveled up so you can move on to a better build later. Which is, which is the point of the Hadrig's Gift, is to give you a starter build that you can work with, right? Get you into T16, get you doing the big dog damage. Clear out of here a little bit.
That is too expensive.
All right. So that's that on that. I hope you found this enjoyable. Hope you found it useful as a good starter build for your Necro. I did. I found it was fun once I figured out how to make it work for me at lower levels, how to keep the guy alive without all the Paragon. It really smacks. So, having said that, Darth's gonna up your dad out. Catch you later. Oh, I need to be an asshole before I leave and ask you to please follow me here on Twitch. Take the link over to my YouTube channel. Subscribe over there, get some notifications when I go live. And if you found this on YouTube, please come over here to Twitch, follow me here, and do the same thing. Notes when I drop videos. I understand people are busy; they don't have time to watch me live, and that's groovy. Help me get. And this is all for Xbox. If you can't tell by how the paper doll looks and all that. I'm on console, so it's for console players, Xbox players specifically, but most of this will roll over to the other consoles. All right, Darth Grumpy Dad out. Catch you later.